Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today is May 25th, 2022, and I'm being asked to explain Mitt Romney's part. Everybody's wondering if he's going to run against Trump in 2024, which means it starts in 2023, by the way, which is a few months around the corner. This is about my suing Mitt Romney in 2013 for racketeering, benefiting from the crimes of E-Toys, KB Toys, Aney Brainy, Gymboree, and so forth. And this is the details of it. The reason why Romney was never prosecuted, or Bain Capital, or Goldman Sachs, is Combe effing Connolly is a Bain Capital lawyer. You'll notice this resume here doesn't talk about Combe Connolly being a partner of M&AT. It just says District Honorable Judge, prosecutor, Assistant U.S. Attorney. He was the U.S. Attorney from 2001 through 2009, but he calls me, Laser Haas, a liar. Gives me top billing over his wife, by the way, who this was done in 2017. I'm assuming she had the baby by now. Anyway, the point is that this guy is a crook, and he's in charge of the Delaware Federal Court that is presiding over the Boston Consulting Group suing GameStop. And the issue is Mitt Romney and Paul Traub being Mitt Romney's lawyer at Stage Stores, along with Michael Glazier and Barry Gold. Mitt Romney and Paul Traub were involved in Neostar, which became GameStop. Romney has many crooked lawyers besides Paul Traub and Combe Connolly, but Combe Connolly is the chief judge in Delaware presiding over the BCG GME case. And that's a very serious cause for concern. So let me detail the facts. How many people have helped Mitt Romney, Goldman Sachs, and Bain Capital, Combe Connolly, Morris Nichols Arson Tunnel, MNAT.com, Greg Werkheiser and others, and Paul Roy Traub get away with hundreds of crimes that gutted the entire monopoly of the retail toy industry, bled them out, bankrupted, and destroyed them? Where the only place you can go to get all your toys now, I presume, is Amazon. And both Jeff Bezos and Mitt Romney were at Boston Consulting Group. And yes, he belongs behind bars. So does Jay Clayton and Combe Connolly, but we'll get more to that in a minute. This paper never made the light of day. I was being interviewed for Ed Schultz. Ed Schultz, when he considered doing the story, I talked to him and his producer. The next thing you know, they're no longer at NBC, and now Ed Schultz is no longer with us. I don't have anybody else with the guts to stand by my side anymore fighting these guys, because they literally destroy everybody who gets in their path. And let me explain that too. But first, let me give you the details of the fraud. By the way, since I asked, excuse me, since I asked the apes to help me with the dockets of the GME versus, or Boston Consulting Group, BCG versus GameStop GME case, it appears that Combe Connolly may have withdrawn. It says vacant, assigned. If anybody can go in Pacer and confirm this for me, it would be nice. Now, there is another problem with the other three federal judges of Noyika, Stark, and Andrews. They're all Combe Connolly partners, and it's a crazy state of affairs that all four federal judges out of 50,000 lawyers and professors and other legal eagles and judges in Delaware, the only four federal judges are all part of the same gang. That's Paul Roy Traub right there. Partners with fraudster Mark Dreyer. He's doing 20 years in jail. Partners with Tom Petter's Ponzi, actually the control partner of Tom Petter's Ponzi. Tom Petters is doing 50 years in prison. Ed O'Coon was doing 100 years, but he passed away. Toys R Us is gone, and Romney's laughing all the way to he's buying his homes off of all the money that Bain Capital stole and made him filthy rich. Because Goldman Sachs and Bain Capital defrauded our E-Toys public company. See the details right there, E-Toys. And that's Combe Connolly to the right. That's his resume below that I've already showed you a picture of before. Here's some more detailed pictures. This is the one that shows the detail, Combe Connolly's resume there on the bottom. He was a partner with M&AT, Morris Nichols Arson Tunnel. Goldman Sachs took eToys public. You can see that in the New York Times rigging the IPO game. Toys R Us is gone. All these companies are bled out. KB, Zany Brainy, Babies R Us, Gymboree, Parent Company, Jumbo Sports, FAO Schwartz, Stage Stores, Toys R Us, eToys. As a matter of fact, KB and eToys were in bankruptcy 3 times each, always winding up at Bain Capital. And that's easy to do when both the debtors counsel and the creditors counsel are lawyers stabbing their clients in the back so that Bain Capital can get a cheap deal, which Mattel was in on the fraud, by the way. That's why I got Mattel mentioned up there. After their shareholders got ripped off $4 billion and eToys $1 billion, these guys learned that they could get away by the planting of Combe Connolly, Morris Nichols Arson Tunnel partner, in as the U.S. attorney over the case. Now, he had help. While Combe Connolly was the U.S. attorney in Delaware, Stephen Piken was the assistant U.S. attorney and head, if you can look right there, of the Securities and Commodities Fraud Task Force, where he supervised some of the nation's highest profile prosecutions, except he wouldn't prosecute Goldman Sachs, Bain Capital, M&AT, Mitt Romney, Barry Gold, Paul Traub, Greg Werkheiser, and the rest of the gang. You have to understand, it's not stealing billions. It's not like you can drive up with a truck to a bank teller and just say, load $1 billion in the trunk. It takes an organization. And that's what these guys do. They infiltrate the Department of Justice, which is a serious congressional hearing worthy crime. And these are lawyers, Combe Connolly, Paul Traub, Mark Dreyer, Stephen Piken, M&AT, constantly betraying court-approved clients for the sake of their secret clients, Bain Capital and Goldman Sachs. Basically, they're all one giant gang pretending to be separate from each other. And Romney claims that he was retroactively retired as CEO of Bain Capital as of August 2001, back to February 11, 2099. That's because his presidential campaign finance form, OGE, Office of Government Ethics 278, lies and says he has nothing to do with Bain Capital in any way whatsoever after February 11, 1999. But that's because there's dead bodies connected to Combe Connolly and the rest of these guys. Then Combe Connolly was partners of M&AT, Mitt Romney and Goldman Sachs law firm, from 1999 until August 2nd, 2001, the exact time that Mitt Romney's campaign claims that he was retroactively retired. And the simple question is, will we let Al Capone arrange for Frank Nitti to be the prosecutor of Al Capone cases, and then allow Al Capone to claim that he's protected by the Constitution for statute of limitations? Now, of course, that's rhetorical. We can't allow that because Romney ran for president. Everybody's scared to touch him because Goldman Sachs spread so many billions of dollars around the world to the people that I guess they need degrees. They get away with hundreds of crimes, including the Malaysia 1MDB, which if they had prosecuted the eToys case like they were supposed to, probably Malaysia 1MDB never would have happened. They harass everybody, every reporter, Joe Pereira at Wall Street Journal, eToys investors claim conflict at law firm. That was my first article in July 2005. Matt Taibbi at Rolling Stone cover on the source of Greed and Debt, a true story about Mitt Romney and Bain Capital, but it's only 1/20th at most of the entire story. It skips over eToys, and Taibbi was supposed to finish up with Greed and Debt too, but then Rolling Stone got bought out by Trump's friend Penske, and they no longer talk about Goldman Sachs, Bain Capital, and Toys R Us frauds and deliberately closing, and nobody's talking about the monopoly that Bain Capital had and how they bled out, bankrupted, and destroyed the entire retail toys industry. But my sweetie, Judge Mary Elizabeth Bullock, she's a federal judge retired, talks about how people should call her. She's reviewed the case, and that Toys R Us would still be here if anybody had listened to me and done their damn job. The point is, nobody's allowed to make profit and keep profit from fraud. We hear all the time how people lose their original investment, but if they got any check from when they invested not knowingly in a Ponzi scheme and the check was labeled profit, they have to give it back. If they return the original investment, that doesn't happen. And this is like a scheme that what they do is the U.S. attorneys let these people get away for stuff for 20 years and spread the wealth around. When they stop spreading the wealth, that's when people like Tom Petters and Mark Dreyer go to jail. But Combe Connolly, Mitt Romney, Roberta DeAngelis there, she's the woman in the picture, Goldman Sachs, they don't get indicted. They get away with stealing billions of dollars and at most usually get a slap on the wrist fine. But they can't do that in my case. They've blocked me, unlike my fellow warrior against injustice, Stephen Donziger, a lawyer they put in jail. They can't put me or my girlfriend in jail. They keep us out of court because the last place they want to see us is in a court of law. We would destroy them. I've got confessions from Paul Traub and M&AT that they lied under oath, that they concealed Goldman Sachs conflicts, and Paul Traub concealed the fact that Barry Gold was his partner. These guys, M&AT, who was my lawyer and Etoy's lawyer, and Combe Connolly was also my lawyer and Etoy's lawyer, and Paul Traub, that was creditors counsel lawyer, what these guys did is they turned around and forged my resignation and replaced me with a Bain Capital, Michael Glazier, Paul Traub, M&AT partner, Barry Gold, who then allowed those guys to get away with money again, stealing from the creditors, the debtors, the Etoy shareholders, the tax authorities, and destroying the public company of Etoy's deliberately, which cannot be allowed. Otherwise, you're sending a message. All you got to do is stall crime long enough, you can get away with it. This is just part of the racketeering crimes that they've done. Every time they blocked me from getting money, they were obstructing justice. They were retaliating against me. Every time that they threatened me to take my money away and destroy my career, which they've done, that's intimidation of a victim and witness. Every time that they exchanged money by mail or by wire transfer, they were doing mail or wire fraud, and they reinvested these profits to turn around and steal Toys R Us. And then what did they do? When I stopped them, New York Times rigging the IPO game, article came out March 2013. A few weeks later, Bain Capital had to cancel the Toys R Us IPO or they were going to get investigated. So they shut it down. They couldn't do another stock fraud crime. And I warned everybody at that time that they would have to go bankrupt. Nope. So that warning was in 2013. Then Etoy's case closed after the New York Supreme Court of Appeals said that my case could be reopened, $1 billion case, that I got confession that Goldman Sachs lawyer, M&AT, was Goldman Sachs lawyer, that's confessed, filed bankruptcy of Etoy's, and then M&AT blocked the shareholders and me from getting a settlement. Then when the New York Supreme Court of Appeals said that we could settle, Paul Roy Traub was nominated by M&AT and Barry Gold to turn around and settle Etoy's case versus Goldman Sachs, the $1 billion case that I got confessions and proof that M&AT and Goldman Sachs destroyed Etoy's books and records and defrauded Etoy's of $1 billion twice. They shut down the case, and M&AT, Paul Traub, and Barry Gold paid themselves a $7.5 million settlement, and the Etoy shareholders got zero, zilch, nada. And they closed the case in 2015. 2016, I write a letter to Loretta Lynch daring her to arrest me because nobody's responding. Then we get Traub as president. Not Traub, I'm sorry. We get Trump as president. He has a dinner with Mitt Romney. They nominate Jay Clayton to be the head of the SEC. Jay Clayton then nominates Stephen Piken to be the head enforcer of the SEC. Then Trump renominates Combe Connolly to be a judge after the Bidens helped stop Combe Connolly from being a judge in 2008. 10 years later, Trump renominates Combe Connolly and gives a pardon to Michael Milken. I sued Trump to block Jay Clayton from becoming head of the SEC, and they knew it would go viral. They received it on March 22nd, 2017, but they didn't put it in the record until May 25th, waiting 3 weeks after Jay Clayton was completed. You can see the case record right there. It says in the gray in the bottom, received on March 22nd. It says clock May 9th. The judge dismissed the case on May 5th. How do you dismiss a case that's not even in the record? But it's not entered into the record until May 24th. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm showing you that Mitt Romney was sued for racketeering. The case was closed by lies under oath, just the way they do all my cases. The judge at the Delaware Bankruptcy Court, Mary F. Walrath, has ordered the clerk to refuse me filing any other proof because I started telling her about the people that are dead in the case. In the meantime, when the SEC finally gave me 2 case numbers in August 2021, SWAT came after me. That's me with my arms up in the air. That's them with the machine guns calling me out. And they kept me in handcuffs and actually tried to bait me. They cut the zip tie handcuffs and told me to hurry back. I was barefooted. He said, hurry back or I'll change my mind. And everybody started shaking their heads at me and I froze. And another cop said he's not falling for it. They put me back in metal handcuffs. I didn't get released until an FBI guy walked by and I said, listen, they're saying I'm not who I am. They can't prove it. My ID, my birth certificate, my legal briefs are there on my bed. I was working on them when they banged the battering ram on the no-knock warrant on my door. I am Steve Haas, whose nickname has been Laser Haas for decades. And I'm the whistleblower in a big federal fraud case. And these guys are working for the dock side. Either give me my phone call, let me call my girlfriend, a retired federal judge, and let her come up here and get in your face, or let me go. They let me go. I don't think they'll be so nice the next time. The point is, Goldman Sachs, Bain Capital, Mitt Romney, Combe Connolly, they're in charge of the GameStop case. And if you think that BCG is only suing about $30 million, it's got another thing coming. I'm hoping you guys wise up. And I'm hoping that the SEC is forced to do something before these guys make me disappear. Romney is a racketeer. That's all there is to it, folks. Do something or do nothing.